You're standing in front of a fountain. Maybe it's a mall. Maybe a hotel lobby, an airport, a park you cut through on your way to work. You dig around for a coin, you find one, you throw it in. You make the wish. Then you walk away, and you never think about that quarter again. Because it stopped being money the second it left your hand. It's a gesture now. 25 cents traded for a small private hope, dropped into water that belongs to nobody. It's money. Right now, at the bottom of that fountain, there's a pile of coins that everyone can see and nobody thinks about. It looks like the one place in the world where money simply stops. No account, no owner, no ledger. Just copper and nickel under 6 inches of water. And that feeling is so convincing that most people will tell you a fountain coin belongs to nobody, that it sits there until somebody with a net scoops it up, and whoever gets there first gets it. By the end of this video, you'll know who owned your quarter while it was still in the air, who comes to collect it, where it ends up, and why a woman in Ohio was charged with a crime over $2.87. Here's the part that makes lawyers wince. When you throw a coin into a fountain, you are not abandoning it. Abandoned property is a real legal category with a real test. You gave the thing up without intending it for anyone. A $20 bill dropped on the sidewalk is abandoned. A coin thrown into a fountain is not. Because you did intend it for someone. Not consciously. You were thinking about the wish. But the law looks at what you did, not what you were daydreaming about, and what you did was hand money to whoever owns the water. That's a completed transfer. Ownership moved while the coin was in the air and it landed with the fountain. Which means the pile at the bottom isn't nobody's money. It's somebody's money sitting in plain sight in a shallow bowl with no lid on it. And it means the obvious thing. Reaching in and taking a handful back is theft. Not morally questionable. Theft, the kind with a charge sheet. In October 2013, in Bellefontaine, Ohio, a woman reached into a fountain and took out $2.87. She wanted to buy food. The fountain was outside the Logan County Courthouse. She was charged with petty theft. She pleaded not guilty, and her defense was the exact thing you and I assumed 90 seconds ago. That the money in a fountain doesn't belong to anybody. That you can't steal what nobody owns. Sit with the geometry of that. A woman argued inside a courthouse that the coins in the fountain outside that courthouse were nobody's. Over $2.87. That's the whole question of this video, asked in the smallest amount of money it's possible to ask it with. So if they're not hers, and they're not yours, whose are they? Here's the strange part. It was decided before you got there. Every managed fountain has an owner, and that owner has already chosen where the coins go. It isn't decided when the money comes out of the water. It's standing policy, written down, usually years old, and completely invisible to the person doing the wishing. At the Mall of America in Minnesota, the coins go to a different local nonprofit every month. Around $24,000 a year. And the organizations aren't picked by luck. They apply in writing to a shopping mall. At Walt Disney World, the coins go to programs supporting foster children. At Bryant Park in New York, they go back into the fountain itself. Maintenance, funded by the people admiring it. And in New York's public parks, crews clean the fountains every few weeks, but by the time they get there, most of the coins are already gone. Not taken by any organized operation. Just taken, quietly and continuously, by New Yorkers who worked out the shallow bowl problem long before the city did. So the wish is private. The money is administrative. Your quarter went into a line item. Now scale it up. In Rome, the Trevi Fountain is swept every night. Not every few weeks, every night because of the volume. That volume is about 1.4 million euros a year. In coins, thrown one wish at a time. And since 2001, it's gone to Caritas, a charity that runs soup kitchens and shelters for families in Rome who've run out of room. Loose change, converted into groceries, at industrial scale. Then, in December 2018, Rome's City Council voted to take it. The proposal sounded reasonable and administrative. Redirect the fountain money to maintaining cultural sites and social welfare projects, starting the 1st of April. 18 years of it going to Caritas would simply stop. What happened next took days. The church objected. The charity objected. The people who had been fed objected loudest. And the mayor reversed it. Caritas would keep the Trevi coins and would now also receive the coins from every other monumental fountain in the city. The city reached for the wishes and came away with less than it started with. One more thing about that fountain, because somebody did try. For 34 years, a man named Roberto Cercelletta worked the Trevi at dawn. Romans called him D'Artagnan. He used a rake and a magnet, and on a good morning, he came out of the water with more than $1,000 for about 15 minutes of work. He started in 1968. He wasn't arrested until 2002. 34 years of walking into the most photographed fountain on Earth and taking the money out of it in public at dawn in front of a city that mostly let him. He died in 2013. So you're standing in front of a fountain. You dig around for a coin, you throw it in, you make the wish, and you walk away. The wish is yours. It was always yours, and nobody can audit it. But the quarter was never the wish. The quarter was a donation to a specific organization, chosen months before you arrived, under a policy you've never read, counted by somebody whose job it is to count it. You didn't throw money into a fountain. You made an anonymous contribution to a stranger's dinner. And the wish was free.